Good afternoon, everyone. As I was coming, I wanted to do a message, a word, based off of a song that just came out. The song is called Drowned by Lecrae, featuring John Legend. It's, wow, it's a very powerful song. I think it has a lot to do with some things that are going on in the world right now. I heard a guy talk about the song. Lecrae moving over from Columbia to his current record label now, allowing him to speak more, speak his voice more. I believe that that change was for a reason, that God has a message for Lecrae in the world, and allowing Lecrae to switch over from another label to speak the truth and who he is called to be. I believe that song Drown has a significant meaning. When I talked about waves, I mentioned something in some of my one of my previous messages about a wave of the kingdom of God coming and washing over all of this evil, this coronavirus, and not necessarily killing the coronavirus itself, but bringing people closer to God. Because that's one thing we're missing in this country, is the unity that the kingdom brings together. We are very much divided by the color of our skin, or whether to wear a mask or not to wear a mask. We are all divided on that, and we all have opinions. And yes, we do, and a lot of us are all based off feelings as well. Me speaking this is not about my feelings about coronavirus or left or right or politics or anything like that. This message is solely to as a reminder, because there is a wave of the kingdom of God coming, and God has a wave that is going to wash some people away, and other people are going to ride that wave. They're going to ride that kingdom, and they're going to realize that God is still in control, and he is on top of that wave. And that reminded me, this video was actually presented to me by Isiana Moro, and she's the one who sent me this video. She's a teenager who sent me this, and she felt like it's something I needed to see. And I'm glad she did, because I know of that wave coming. I know how big that wave is going to be, and how that wave is going to change people's lives. It's going to open up the eyes of the people right now. And there's a lot of blind people. There's people with blinders on, and they don't know their blinders are on, but there are blinders on. And there are a lot of people that are awake that cannot portray their message out, because those who have blinders have hardened hearts at the same time. And I don't know, and when that wave comes and washes over all of this, we are going to be able to speak the truth of the kingdom of God and the glory of God. And that's such a beautiful thing that I see coming down in the very near future. It reminded me of when Jesus, Peter walked on water. And I'm going to read from Matthew, because that's where God had led me to read from. And it says here in Matthew 14, verse 23, I'll start on. It says, after he had dismissed them, well, let me tell you what's going on here. Jesus feeds 5,000. Then after that, they leave from there. And it says here in 23, after he had dismissed them, he went on to the mountainside by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves, because the wind was against it. In verse 25 says here, during the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. It's a ghost, they said, and cried out in fear. Fear is something that we are dealing with right now. There's overwhelming amounts of fear dealing with this coronavirus. The coronavirus comes with fear, and it only gets worse if you continue to fear. But it says here, but Jesus immediately said to them, take courage, it is I, don't be afraid. Lord, if it's you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. Come, he said. Jesus tells Peter to come. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You have little faith," he said. "Why do you doubt?" And then they climbed into the boat. The wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." And I read from that because, as you can see, Peter had enough faith to ask Jesus if it's really you to come. And Peter made a decision to come. Choosing faith is about a decision. We either choose to believe or choose not to believe. Peter chose to believe. He walked out on the water. But the moment he looked at the storm, the moment he looked at his circumstances, when he looked away and he took his eyes off the Father, he took his eyes off of Jesus, is the moment he sank. This song "Drowned," to me, this song means a lot when it comes to drowning in water and waves. This wave that is coming is going to be such a large wave that the world is going to see this wave. And if you're one that does not have your eye on Jesus, if you don't have your eye on God, you will be underwater. You will be sink in that wave. If you are on top of that wave and Jesus is in you, you need to reach down and pull those people out. Pull them onto the boat and show them who Jesus is, who Jesus truly is to you and to them. This is how we're going to bring people to the kingdom of God. If you're a Christian, we are not going to allow these people who are sinking down in the waves to drown. We are going to lift them up, bring them onto the boat, and tell them who Jesus Christ is in our life. Because that is our job as Christians, is to preach the gospel, to go out and make disciples of all nations. That is our job. That is our calling. That is our purpose in life. And if you don't believe it, read it. It's all in here. This message is not to discourage anyone. I don't want anyone panicking, thinking, oh my gosh, the world's ending. That's not what's going on right now. There's always time. Right now, we have time. This message is those we have to reach people. There are a lot of people who are not following Christ. And people who are following Christ aren't truly following Christ. So I'm even calling out Christians as well, that we need to follow Christ. We need to follow his example, because he died for us. There's a reason why all this is happening in the world. There's truth behind a lot of things that are going on. And there's a lot of blinders on. So it's our job as a Christian to call everyone out, to reach those that need to be reached. And when that wave comes, pull them out and show them who the kingdom of God is. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Peace.